Today we're here at Daytona Tamworth for a grueling 3-hour endurance race. With over 100 laps of this twisting circuit, truly anything can happen within the 3 hours. The strategy and hard calls we had to make can really change the outcome of the race, and it did. With the mandatory 5 pit stops, we gathered the team together ready to take on the task at hand. Strap yourselves in and subscribe, as this one is truly a banger. So, as we jump straight into practice here, you join us at the absolutely stunning Daytona Tamworth. It was an absolutely gorgeous day here today on the top of the hill here at Tamworth, and we're driving today in the Sodi karts. Now, this is the first time I've driven in these karts, and it was the first time that I've driven here at Daytona Tamworth. So it's going to be really important to learn this track as fast as we can. So as we head out the pits here, you start to come round to the start finish straight here. You take a right, you go up the sweeping start finish straight, you take a little bit of a left, a little bit of a right, and then you've got a lovely sweeping right hander once you get to the top here. You want to use a little bit of the curb there and take this nice and tight, which I tried, but I ended up with a load of oversteer on my first lap out here. There's a nice sweeping right that you then come into here. You want to make sure that you don't want to go too much onto that concrete there. They're very strict here on track limits, which is absolutely brilliant when we come to the intense battles we have later on in the race. But you can see how twisty this circuit, it really folds in and back on itself. So as we come around the final corners here, you can see on my first lap here at Tamworth, my lines were absolutely all over the place, and here I took it way too deep. You can see the Sodi next to me knew exactly what they were doing, and then comes through the D-Maxes. So what I haven't mentioned yet, in this 3-hour endurance, there actually is 2 classes of karts that are going to be racing at the same time: the faster D-Maxes and the Sodis we were in today. I need to make sure I get used to these D-Maxes driving around us and hope that they don't cause us too much issue for the main race. Now, with this only being a short practice time, I really started to push myself to see where my limits were, but I kept going off and not being able to keep it on track. But it wasn't just me that was struggling with this. There was lots of people left, right and center spinning out and really trying to find where their limits was. But you can see as we're starting to come to the end of the practice session here, we managed to get the hang of it. We're actually catching this Sodi here, and in some cases we started overtaking some D-Maxes, which is absolutely incredible. I'd started to learn the track, we were getting pace, but before I knew it, it was my time to head into the pits as my time for the practice was over, and it was time for someone else to hop in the car. With absolutely no clue how I did in that session, I hopped out the car, headed over to Chris to find out how we did.
I have no clue.
You were the second fastest half a second off.
I was stuck behind this D-Max that couldn't drive.
Must have been you were faster than the D-Max.
No, I'm happy. They're very fun to drive. Throw the car in and it'll do whatever you want to do. Don't brake anywhere. And fuck me, the D-Maxes are quick. He's cooking. 63 flat.
So with Mako absolutely smashing the practice there, it was time for me and Captain Chris to start discussing the strategy we were going to put in place for this race.
Send Sam out first, get rid of me and Matt, and then you finish it off.
So with the strategy set and Mako and me starting first, it was time to start focusing at the task at hand. Or so we thought.
Don't you have to refuel now?
Oh shit.
Yeah. We could be fucked. No wonder you're hitting fast lap.
As soon to make your way down to
Panicking that we thought we were going to run out of fuel in the race, I started to crunch some numbers to see if we'd be able to last and what we'd do with our new pit strategy.
No, this is fine. We'll just fuel early. Fuel maybe on the first stop then, and it's done.
That should last us for the race, shouldn't it?
No, we're risking it though, innit, if it don't last. I fuel after my stint. So you'll do your half one, I'll do full stint, fuel then, and then when you get back in, you'll have your full time. It should last 2 hours, because that's what we've just done. That's halfway of the day.
So with all that panic out of the way, we now had a new problem, which came in the form of Kart 10.
That 10 in the wall. Oh, D-Max in the wall. One out there, took someone out, goes the wrong way down the track, straight into a car, and then spun out on this corner here and caused them off the car.
And guess where we were starting for our qualification? Yeah, right behind them. This meant that we needed to come up with some strategy in our qualification to build a big enough gap between us and Kart 10 so Mako was able to set a fast lap.
We are behind 10. Like 8 seconds faster than number 10. You're going to catch up.
The reason we don't get spot.
As we watched nervously from the sidelines, it was all down to Mako to put our strategy into place.
This whole lap just go slow as possible.
We're going to have to go faster than that now.
It's okay, it's okay. Gap between him and 10's now way big enough. Fine, as long as 10 doesn't spin out, he's fine. He's good. Done that perfectly.
Let's see if there's a late change for pole position. There is Team Red Line.
There you go, done it.
Take pole position.
He did it! He managed to go and put the car on pole for the team. So as we clapped it in, it was time to have a quick word with him, see how he's feeling after that incredible qualifying.
0.7.
0.7 faster.
How are you punching your wheel?
What was the wheel?
I was going to quickly catch up to number 10. Timed it perfectly.
We were a little worried about how slow we were going. But then we saw the guy who was first with Kart, so we thought, well, we're going to have to pick it up at some point. Well done, son.
So with the brilliant work from Mako, we were starting right at the front, but now it was time for the hard bit. 3 hours of nail-biting chaos. Mako started the first stint and put in some absolutely incredible laps, managing to pull away from the rest of the pack. But before I knew it, it was time to run the alternate strategy and get me in the kart.
I'll try and have a look at the fuel before I get in.
You think you're going to pit early?
Yeah.
Give us some sort of, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. Do it 2 laps.
From that.
Because otherwise...
If we see you do that, we know you're coming in.
Yeah. Just getting ready 10 minutes before the stint, just in case.
Now you're just doing a flat 35?
Yeah.
Is that what you're right?
Oh. I'm shitting bricks. When that gets to 63, that's when we call them in.
That's when we do that, right?
Yeah. Come round again, by the way.
I gave him that.
Yeah, I know.
So with that quick pit stop out the way and 160 minutes left on the timer, we were let out into some clean air. Now the perfect thing about this strategy was that Mako actually did half the time on his stint, meaning that there was no one in front of me for my bit of the 35-minute stint, meaning we could continue the good work that Mako just did, keeping the lead as we'd have no traffic in front of us. This is a perfect strategy if you ever do an endurance race. It means your strategy is offset compared to everyone else that you are racing with today. So you have complete clean air on the track while they're all still battling for position. And you don't win an endurance race in the first few overtakes at the start of the day. You win it by doing consistent fast laps, which is what we're able to do here as we had no traffic in front of us. But before we know it, we've caught up to our nemesis, Kart 10, that we get past nice and cleanly. And that's all I was hoping to do when we caught up to Kart 10, was get past him, not have any trouble, and hopefully don't get taken out in the process. We were putting in some really nice low 62 laps here, which was perfect for what we wanted to do. And our plan here was to do a 35-minute stint, but then disaster struck. So when me and Chris were discussing what the signals were for pitting, well, there was a bit of miscommunication between me and Captain Chris. I said I would tap on my head when I was going to come into the pits, and as I was driving my final few laps, Chris started tapping on his head, which to me insinuated that I had to make my way to the pits. However, we had another signal for go to the pits, which was the X. So I ended up coming in because I thought he was saying make my way to the pits, when actually what he wanted me to do was check to see how much fuel was still in the tank. So annoyingly, I did come in about 15 minutes too early, but at least it meant we could fuel and we didn't have to worry about running out of fuel. So with mine and Mako's stints out the way, now we now had Matt out on track, who's one of our heavyweight drivers here today in our team. With all the kerfuffle that happened with the pit stop changes, it did mean we had lost a position. We dropped down to second, but this wasn't too much of an issue, as it meant that Matt could use the slipstream of the driver in front to keep his pace up and keep his average times nice and low. But as we came to the end of Matt's stint, it started to get a little scrappy, so we started to get ready to bring him in.
But I think it's actually a benefit that Kart 20's got past him. He's lapping with Kart 20 now, and I thought Kart 20 was about a second and a half quicker before. So if he keeps with 20, we're still in with the shout, and then we've got Lando Lewis out there to start pulling it back away again.
As soon as he starts wrestling with 20, he is closing. He's going 10th quicker every lap.
And then, just to our luck, as we were wanting to pit Matt as his stint was coming to an end, there was an incident on track, meaning it was a full course yellow. This means everyone has to bunch back up and do a safety car restart. This means we can take advantage, as we don't lose as much time if we pit right now. So we tried to get Matt into the pits, get his attention, and get Lando Lewis into that kart.
I think we can pit.
There's something gone over there. Is that what we just...
If they told him to pit when we were questioning it, we would have just benefited. Stupid amount.
Try and get his attention there.
Yeah, I think he saw it. He's done it, he's done it. Oh, we're still behind traffic here. Let's through, let's through, let's through. Come on. You were doing fine.
The last thing you could have done was let 20 past you because your lap times just started. Mate,
Yeah, but that was perfect. It was consistency.
Again, because you were not losing any time. Just to get your attention to tell you were doing well.
Yeah.
Okay, see what you did.
You were doing 2 tenths quicker than him in the slipstream. That consistency was perfect.
Yes, exactly.
I nearly killed us both.
We are racing for the win here, mate. Honestly, everything you did.
A few tenths off, but we pitted in between that. We're in a good place.
So with Lewis pushing hard on track, he managed to claim back first position, but only just. So me and Captain Chris sat down and crunched some numbers, and we worked out if Chris went out to do that final stint and he was hitting his PB every single lap, we would just lose the race by about 8 seconds. Because it's going to be really unrealistic that he's going to be hitting his own PB back to back to back. Captain Chris made the difficult decision to give up his stint and put me back in the car. That way, if all things go well, we can just about win this race.
So I'll keep all the gear on just in case it's going to start getting dicey out there. It might take me 1 or 2 laps to get red hot.
So that's all you have to do, just all about you and 20 and nothing else. Nothing else matters.
So this was it. The pressure was on. This was the final pit stop of the race, which would put us just in front of second place, but only just by about 8 seconds. So this pit stop had to go as fast as possible. So we had Chris here helping us with the pit stop, putting the ballast in, and then as soon as I hopped in the car, I tried adjusting the seat, but it would not move, and in the end, I gave up. We could not waste any crucial time here and have potentially second overtaken us on these final few laps. So as we headed out onto the track, like I say, we were about 8 seconds in front with about 15 minutes left to go of this 3-hour race. Can we do it? Can we keep this position? All we need to do now is make sure we're letting through the D-Maxes nice and easy, make sure we're putting in some consistent laps with our nice grippy hot tires, and hopefully we can keep this 8-second gap on second place and get that finish. You can see we're already coming up to our old friend Kart 10, and I'm praying I can get past them as fast as I can. We send it down the inside here, managing to keep that corner there, and every time I look over, you can see there is second in the white helmet just behind us, and every time I took that corner there, I looked over my shoulder, keeping an eye on how close that kart was getting. They were ever so slightly every lap reeling it in, and I really didn't know at this point, with 15 minutes still to go, could I hold them off for all this time? Can we manage to actually win this 3-hour endurance race at a track we've never raced at before, in karts we've never raced in before? Maybe we can do it. This is the chance with the team cheering us on just to the left. I really was pushing now, and we're starting to put in some absolutely killer laps here. And as we come up to this hairpin here, like the lap before and the lap before that, I'm looking over my shoulder to see where the drivers behind are. We managed to take it okay, and they're still there. They're still on our bumper. There is second in the white helmet, ready to chase us down. So I get my foot down, I get my head down, and focus so hard not to go off the track at any point. Make sure we're hitting those apexes, and like I say, just maybe we can finish this race just in front of these guys. As we get back to that hairpin, we look over our shoulder one more time. We try and hold the line. I oversteer a little bit too much there, and they are ever so slightly closer. They're creeping, they're catching us. Are they going to do it? Are they going to be able to beat us? I'm just going to keep going. As we come around these final few hairpins here, the D-Max that's been chasing us for a while goes past us, and we can see second right behind us, and then
That's all you have to do, just all about you and 20 and nothing else. Nothing else matters.
we only went and bloody did it. 183 grueling laps later, and there we are holding that checkered flag.
I thought you were going to get me in the end then.
Just go there, flow.
Start with our winner. That was perfect. Okay, pole position and the win as well.
Credit to not just me, but all the other guys that are stood over there. Some of those laps that they were putting in behind people that were quicker and lighter was unbelievable.
What was the secret to that kind of pace all day?
Not eating yesterday, to be honest. Hit it at the right time. They'd outweigh a Kart 10 a lot, to be honest.
Maybe a little bit harsh. Well done. Anyway.
So there you have it, 180 minutes and 183 laps later, and we're sat there taking home the checkered flag and the top place on the podium. I couldn't be more proud of everyone in the team, including Captain Chris, who made that massive call at the end, which ended up meaning we got the win. Thank you to everyone in the team that raced with, and thank you to you guys back at home for watching these videos. We've just hit 1,000 subscribers, and I can't be more thankful. The love and support you guys show me is absolutely incredible. You'll be happy to hear loads more content will be coming out now more frequently for you guys to enjoy. So make sure if you do enjoy these karting videos to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.